A team that's only played one official game this season, but today for the Saints, this is their third exhibition game, and the Saints are hoping to make it competitive today.
Yeah, this is going to be a real test for the Saints. Again, their schedule has been a little bit what I call wonky, Brant. You know, they've had Division I games that haven't counted their exhibition, and today will be the same way. They're going to be outmanned, especially in the interior.
And this game is underway again. Texas State coming off a 74-53 loss to 13th-ranked Texas on Wednesday. The Bobcats' second loss out of the last three games, but again, both to Power 5 teams. In that game in Austin at the Frank Irwin Center, the Bobcats cut a 13-point halftime deficit down to 7 in the second half before Texas pulled away. But the Bobcats, again, got to look at a very talented team and a potential lottery pick in Greg Brown, who scored 18 points for Texas, while Mason Harrell had 14 for Texas State.
Yeah, Brown was impressive. You expected that going in again against Texas on Wednesday night, and Harrell stepped up to the challenge. But again, the length and athleticism of Texas caused the Bobcats all kinds of problems on the offensive end of the floor.
And today the Bobcats looking to bounce back before preparing for their final three games of non-conference play. Again, Our Lady of the Lake, this is their fourth game of the season, but two of the first three were exhibitions. And by the way, today doesn't count either for the Saints. Our Lady of the Lake was blown out in his first two exhibition games against Rice and UTRGV, but they were competitive in the one game that counted against Incarnate Word.
Yeah, they did. They did a nice job against Incarnate Word. And you'll see today they really want to play up-tempo. They're going to push the ball in transition. The Bobcats have to get back and match up, and they're going to spread the floor. And Texas State has got to take advantage of turnovers just like they did there. Nice pass from Harrell and a good finish by Soule in transition. And it's going to be Texas State can get out and run on this team if they'll do a good job on the defensive end.
Soule, the first basket of the game, was limited to just 18 minutes against Texas, scoring 6 points, but committed 5 turnovers. The Bobcats had a lot of issues handling the Longhorns' length. Alonzo Soule had his issues against Texas on Wednesday as well.
Yeah, same thing happened to him against Mississippi State early in the year. He's playing against some guys that are bigger and longer than him and more athletic. And so he really has to settle down, establish himself inside, slow down, and make his moves. And he struggled a little bit, again, with the turnovers. They're doubling on him and just made some bad choices.
More on Our Lady of the Lake. The COVID pandemic has impacted their program because of positive cases within their program and others they were scheduled to play. The first 5 games of the season were postponed for the Saints. After today, by the way, they'll play 2 more Division I programs before finally playing an NAIA team, a conference opponent, on January the 4th. Soule showing off his range and hits a 3. His first attempt and make from deep this season.
And you see there the Saints are really pushing the ball down the floor. They're trying to get quick, easy buckets on the Bobcats. And there you see the fouls committed. I believe they're going to get Adams for that. And that's against Patterson. He is a freshman. And again, we'll go a little more in depth on the Saints. Very veteran roster, Grant. That's the only freshman player is out there for the Saints is Patterson. He's a really highly acclaimed player from New Mexico and as a shooter.
Highly acclaimed. He was New Mexico's Gatorade High School Player of the Year. Think about that. This game today features 2 such players. Of course, Mason Harrell for Texas State was named as Oklahoma's Gatorade High School Player of the Year back in 2018. That shot, a foul committed by Shelby Adams. And did he foul the shooters? Is this a 3-shot foul?
It was a foul because he ran through the screen, so it's just going to be a common foul. They'll have the ball on the side. They're running a set back in the olden days, Brant, I used to call money. And it's basically where you're coming through that door, they come through and they get the ball to the shooter. And he got a great look at it, but the foul ended up being called.
Am I to assume that the shot goes in, it's called cash money?
Yeah, you go.
Embry the drive inside. Isaiah Small the rebound for Texas State, the team's leading rebounder this year. A year ago, ranked in the top 10 in rebounds in the Sun Belt. Good try from Harrell. Well defended, though, by David Patterson. And a foul on the loose ball called against Texas State. They get it against Mason Harrell. Again, 14 points against Texas on Wednesday, but it took them 14 shots to get there, committed 5 turnovers against the Longhorns on Wednesday night. Today, the Saints looking for their 3rd ever win against a Division I program. For the Bobcats, they're angling for their 23rd straight win over a non-D1 opponent. And don't you know, Suzanne, every Division I team in the country put on notice earlier this week after Fort Hays State, a Division II team, knocked off the Kansas State Wildcats in Manhattan.
Yeah, that was a huge game. Again, we'll talk about it later probably, but man, K-State had to rock their world with that happening. Fort Hays State, local in-state school, comes in to your arena and ends up beating them. And it wasn't like a 2-point game, Brant. It was a double-digit win. And kudos to the Fort Hays men's team.
The head coach of the Saints, Chris Dial, in his 3rd season, but in his 2nd season as a full-time head coach. His first year was the interim coach at Our Lady of the Lake. Took over the program just 2 months before the season began 2 years ago. Says he doesn't recommend to take over a program like that, but there are some parallels, Suzanne, between the 2 head coaches because, as we know, Terrence Johnson currently has an interim tag for Texas State. Of course, a different set of circumstances.
Yeah, definitely. I like the way that Coach Dial explained his 3 years there at, I'm going to call it the Lake. His first year, he said, was survive because he got the job so late. His 2nd year was to rebuild, to get some players, and this 3rd year is when he's hoping to get over the hump when they get into Red River play and do some damage with this team of veteran players.
Good alley-oop. Asbury on the finish there for Texas State. Did not play much against Texas on Wednesday, a season-low 8 minutes, and was held to just 2 points at Austin.
Yeah, he did get a lot of minutes. Again, some of the matchups that the Bobcats had with the Longhorns were, let's just say, not favorable, Brant. It was really a big ask, and I thought the guys competed hard. But again, Texas is ranked in the top 20 for a reason.
That might be one of the more talented teams that Shaka Smart has fielded since he arrived from VCU a number of years ago.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that assessment, Brant. It's a really talented team. It's going to be fun for the folks up in Austin to see how far they can go this year.
You talk about Texas and the talent that they have had. One player not long ago, Jared Allen, now playing for the Brooklyn Nets. Well, the coach that coached him in AAU ball, Texas State's Terrence Johnson.
Yeah, Coach TJ has got to coach a lot of really good players, and I think that's another similarity between him and Coach Dial, who has really worked with the international population, but has coached some really good players outside of the college setting.
5 minutes in, Bobcats on top, 8-2 on ESPN+.
This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity. This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right.
This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity. This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity. This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right.
This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity. This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity. This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity. This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity. This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity.
Let's get to know more about Our Lady of the Lake University, located not far from St. Marcus and San Antonio, an enrollment of more than 3,200. I believe that is an Intro to Poli-Sci class here at Texas State. Out of the Red River Athletic Conference from the NAIA. So the school, again, founded in the 1800s, but they've only been playing basketball at the NAIA level since 2009. this is just the 12th season for men's basketball at Our Lady of the Lake.
It's crazy, and they've had some really good teams at Our Lady of the Lake. And again, this is one that Coach Dial is hoping to can turn the last 2 seasons around with a better season and some more wins with this veteran crew.
A lot of success for the team since they joined the NAIA ranks as the Bobcats turn it over. Again, 12th season in program history this year. In their first 9 years, they compiled 20 or more wins 6 times. 5 NAIA All-Americans. They've made the NAIA tournament 4 times, twice reaching as far as the Elite 8. But it's been un-Saint-like over the past couple of seasons as they've had back-to-back losing records, the first time ever the Saints have had a losing mark. Should note, by the way, one of those NAIA All-Americans, Courtney Julian, who began his career at Texas State before transferring to the program in San Antonio, as the Saints get a 3 from Ruben Monzon, the junior out of San Diego, California, the motor of the Saints basketball team.
Yeah, he's one of their best players, I feel like, Brant, especially on the offensive end. He's been their leading scorer. He's their leading scorer returning from last season, and so they really count on him to set the tone. He's a guard-type player, but in their system, he's actually playing a forward position.
You're talking about the last couple of years for the Saints. And that'll count as a foul for Caleb Asbury. Mentioned those NAIA tournaments. Well, the Saints haven't even qualified for their own conference tournament over the past couple of seasons. A year ago, finishing in 7th place with a record of 6-12 in Red River Athletic Conference play. Overall, a year ago, Our Lady of the Lake finished 10-18 in an injury-riddled year. Coach Dial called it a rebuilding year for the program.
Yeah, and so I think he's definitely he's stocked up with a lot of veteran players this season and is hoping to make a run and to make some noise in that Red River Athletic Conference. And first off, qualify for the tournament, but then hopefully make some noise where they can get back to the national tournament.
Texas State, the early lead, 10-5, a little more than 6 minutes in to the first half. Again, Texas State just 3 games left before the start of Sun Belt play after this game against the Saints. Long 3 dialed up and knocked home by Lennox Jones Jr., the senior out of Richmond, Texas.
And that's one of the ways that a program or a team like Our Lady of the Lake can compete with the Bobcats. If they can hit threes at a high level, then that's going to keep them in this game, Brant.
Nigel Caesar, the one that had the ball knocked away from him, a player that was highly touted during the telecast of the game against Texas on Wednesday, has a look, 6'8", 225. The Bobcats, again, the size they have, it's good size with Isaiah Small, Alonzo Soule, and potentially Nigel Caesar. But the strength of the team so far, Suzanne, has been the guard play. We highlighted it earlier between Mason Harrell and Shelby Adams.
It has been. Those 2 guys have really been consistent for the Bobcats this year. I think they're a lot more aggressive this season, again, because of the void left by the scoring of Nigel Pearson due to graduation. They're more aggressive looking for shots. They've been hitting more shots, and really Adams has just elevated his total game. He leads the team in steals, and he's also been really hitting the offensive glass. And so that's got to be a bright spot for Coach TJ as they get closer and closer to Sun Belt play.
On pace for a career year. His scoring has nearly tripled from a year ago. Short on the 3 is Edvin Teteso, the senior out of Stockholm, Sweden. And we'll be talking more about international basketball throughout the telecast. Coach Chris Dial, a lot of international ties. In transition, the Saints get a 3. Ruben Monzon hits another. The junior out of San Diego, a couple of triples, and the Saints on a 6-0 run have the lead.
And that's exactly how they want to play. They want to play up and down, 94 feet, push the ball in transition, and especially if Texas State doesn't match up quickly, they're going to keep letting it fly.
Here's Caesar going to work. Ball is stripped. Got it back, and will go to the free throw line when we return. Saints on top, 11-10 in San Marcos.
for the Bobcats' next home game by getting your tickets online at txstatebobcats.com today. If you have a favorite social media platform, Texas State Athletics is on it. From Twitter to Facebook, Instagram to YouTube, and now Texas State Athletics coaches, student athletes, and spirit groups are there. Connect with the Bobcats by searching at TX State Bobcats on your favorite social media channel and enjoy the unique content that only the Texas State Bobcats can deliver. To see a list of all Texas State Athletics personalities on social media, visit txst.com and search social accounts. Texas State Athletics social media. Stay connected. Hey kids, for only $35, you could be attending all Texas State home games. Ask your parents about signing up for the Bobcat Kids Club. For this low price, you get a football season ticket, free admission to all other sports, Kids Club t-shirt and membership card, an autographed picture from Branco, and so much more. Sign up at txstatebobcats.com or call 512-245-2272. When you get home, sign up for the Bobcats Kid Club.
And back at Strand Arena, Saints on top 11-10, 8 minutes in. We were talking about the improvement from Shelby Adams. First 3 seasons had a hard time getting on the floor. Of course, playing alongside Nigel Pearson will do that. So his minutes per game have more than doubled since his first 3 seasons. And you see what happens with the increased playing time and increase in production for Adams. And moving forward, the Bobcats could really use this kind of production as they look ahead of Sun Belt Conference play.
Definitely so. I thought Shelby Adams played well against Texas on Wednesday. He took shots within his skill set. He got to the mid-range, which is, I think, where Adams excels. Got to the rim. I think he's hit some big three-pointers. I remember last season that corner over there, Brand, he knocked a couple down. Big Sun Belt games. But I think his more natural shooting areas, those mid-range jumpers, and he's done a nice job of that this season.
By the way, that long shot we saw from Alonzo Sule earlier, they changed to a 2-pointer. And there was a foul on the rebound. And for the Bobcats, that is already 17 fouls in the first 8+ minutes. So the Saints in the bonus. And Monzone only gets the 1 attempt. The Bobcats, again, think about conference play looming, early part of January. And if they're going to succeed in the Sun Belt, they've got to be able to defend without fouling.
Absolutely. And, Brand, this is going to be a test for Texas State. You still have just under 12 minutes left in the first half, and that sort of plays into the hand of the Saints. They like to put the ball on the deck and drive. Texas State's going to have to do it without fouling, or they're going to be at the free throw line.
Quentin Scott, that is his first three-pointer of the season, a career 18% shooter from deep. Spotted up from the corner there and calmly knocked it down. Driving inside, Lennox Jones couldn't hit. And Scott comes away with a rebound.
That was a great drive by Lennox Jones. He's a combo guard. Really did a nice job hanging, trying to get that shot off. At the other end, we end up with looks like an offensive foul by Quentin Scott. He got that forearm out and extended it, and it's going to lead to a turnover for Texas State. And
the 18th foul as well for the Bobcats. This one will not result in free throws for Our Lady of the Lake. And for Quentin Scott, that is his first personal.
I'm sort of anxious. They've got Nate Martin in, the freshman for the Bobcats. The limited play we got to see him about a week ago here against Incarnate Word, he did a great job, and so I think this will be a really good matchup for him today.
Good play there by Marlon Davis, stripping the ball away from Xavier Woodington. Saints inbound nearly halfway through the first half, and the Bobcats have the early 14-11 lead. It shouldn't be an issue today for Texas State, but a problematic trend continues in the early going. The Saints are again winning what you call the math problem. They're only shooting 4 of 14 for the floor, now 5 of 15 on a good lay-in there by Jones. But they've made 3 threes to Texas State's 1. The Bobcats don't take many threes. They've only attempted 65 through their first 5 games. They were 2 of 11 from deep against Texas on Wednesday, but they continue to get beat at the three-point line each and every night.
Yeah, that's it. You can't win if you're hitting twos and they're hitting threes. I like, though, that last possession by Texas State. very much settled in, got the ball inside to Nate Martin. And again, I was anxious to see how he would come out today. And he just got in there and put a nice little middle hook right in the middle of the paint.
That shot off the glass for Calvin Kintu, the senior from London, England. A player, by the way, that was highly touted and recommended to Coach Dial by Luol Deng. Of course, Luol Deng is from England and runs a basketball academy out there. Coach Dial has developed a lot of international relationships through his time overseas. And that's how Calvin Kintu became an Our Lady of the Lake Saint, thanks to Luol Deng.
Yeah, recruiting is all about relationships and building with folks, whether they're in the U.S. or out of the country. And I think Coach Dow's done a nice job, and I think you'll see some more international players come into the Lady of the Lake.
You also see a handful of San Antonio area players as well. Coach Dial is from San Antonio. One of the big reasons why he came back to the Alamo City to coach Our Lady of the Lake was to come home after the birth of his son 3 years ago. Harrell misfires, Small to put back. That won't go. Another chance. And Isaiah Small has his first basket of the day.
Really good board work there by Small, getting a couple attempts, just keeping the ball up high. Now he's going to have to really defend a perimeter driver, and that's what they do. They spread you out. The Saints are going to go 4 out, 1 in, or 5 out, and they're going to spread you out and just try to drive to the bucket.
Small spots up a 3. Adams taps the rebound to Martin. Here's Harrell lining it up. And Kintu, the rebound for Our Lady of the Lake. Still hanging around here in the first half, and he will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, and that is smart basketball by the Saints. Again, you know you're in the 1-and-1. Every time you draw a foul, you're going to get free throws. And so you look there, we have a great drive by Goody. Sorry, that's Kintu. My bad. Got the numbers transposed. Really good drive. Got that foul. Is going to get himself to the line, have an opportunity to get 2 free throws.
Discussing more of the international ties for Chris Dial is the founder of the Basketball Academy. He's still involved, but it's gone kind of stale lately because of the pandemic. They've had to do a lot of stuff virtually. Has formerly been the program director of FIBA Europe and the Under-14 project. And has also been a coach and director for the Admirals Basketball Academy. A big emphasis for him overseas on developing people, not just basketball players, to help break systemic barriers. And it's been something that he's been a part of for the last several years, not as involved as he's now the coach of his own program here in the States. And it's given him an opportunity to, again, get to know more cultures outside of the U.S., more about basketball internationally. And he's also had the chance to watch some young up-and-coming players throughout his career, players like Ricky Rubio, like Luka Doncic.
Yeah, and again, I think one of the things I really took from our conversation with him, Brant, was the slogan that the Basketball Embassy uses is United We Hoop. And it just talks about exactly what you said, bringing folks together, using basketball as the mechanism to do that.
A foul against Lennox Jones takes us to a timeout. Bobcats clinging to a 2-point lead.
This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right.
This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right.
This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right.
This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right.
This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity. This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity. This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right.
This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity. This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity. This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity. This isn't just a Wi-Fi upgrade. This is X-Fi Complete from Xfinity.
With the holidays right around the corner, BobcatsShop.com is a place to shop for a gift for the Bobcat in your life. For all things maroon and gold, that's BobcatsShop.com, the official online store of the Texas State Bobcats. 7:47 left here in the first half. Bobcats on top 18-16. The Saints kind of hanging around here in the first half. Suzanne, why is that?
Well, turnovers and then poor shooting percentage. That's, if you wanted to, two things, that's it. Of course, we come out of that break and you see Mason Harrell with a great drive. They come out of the timeout, easy layup there. That'll help increase those shooting percentages quickly.
Harrell had missed his first 4 shots of the game until that basket. The Bobcats coming in out of the 12-team Sun Belt, ranking just 8th in field goal percentage. A year ago, they ranked 3rd. But again, such a big part of the offense and really the heart and soul of the team. No longer in the program. Nigel Pearson, of course, after 4 tremendous seasons for Texas State. That and Eric Terry as well, a great presence inside the Bobcats are having to replace.
Yeah, they definitely are. And again, it's everybody trying to figure out their role now with those 2 icons leaving the program due to graduation. And so the shots you used to get because people were focused on Nigel, now those shots are harder because they're focused on you. And so they're having to, everybody's still trying to figure out exactly where they fit in the puzzle.
Small and Soule unsuccessful on that high-low play. So Harrell again has led the team in scoring. All 5 games this season, more than 14 points a game. And has led the team, again, in that category every time the Bobcats have taken the floor. Can he continue to do that?
I think he can. You look at his high school background, as you alluded to, he was the Gatorade Player of the Year for Oklahoma. He's a scorer from high school, but I think for Texas State to go deep in Sun Belt play and deep into the conference tournament, their bigs are going to have to carry the load because percentages are you've got to have somebody who can shoot 50% or better. Your bigs should be able to do that and just throw it in there and either get fouled or make shots.
Is Harrell's 5'9", 150-pound frame of concern moving forward to Sun Belt play because the Bobcats are asking him to play 34-plus minutes a game?
I would say yes, somewhat, because he's going to get tired. His legs are going to be like noodles when you get, especially playing back-to-back games, as Sun Belt play is on a Friday and a Saturday. When you get 5 or 6 weeks deep, he's really going to have to take care of himself, which I think he does. But you really need those bigs. Soule, Small, Quentin Scott, those guys need to step up and start producing inside consistently. They haven't done it in spurts, but not consistently.
You saw the three-point percentage there for Harrell, 57%. That's 4th right now in the Sun Belt Conference, early part of the season. Texas State commits its 7th turnover of the first half. You heard Suzanne reference the sloppy play for the Bobcats at times, a team that doesn't typically turn the ball over much. Good drive and finish from Ruben Monzon. And Monzon with 6 points, make it 8 now in the early going.
That was a great drive by Monzon. He really faced up Harrell, took him to the baseline, elevated up between 3 Bobcats, and hit a layup. That was an impressive move.
Got right in between the bigs there in Isaiah Small and Alonzo Soule. As the Bobcats, meanwhile, turn it over again. This time on an offensive foul by Shelby Adams. That's his 3rd personal foul of the half. The Bobcats have now committed 11 here in the first half. 4 turnovers over the past 3 minutes for Texas State.
And again, a run-out play. Marlon Davis is going to try to take it to the rack, but quick hands by Minifield or Monzon, one of the two of them. I couldn't tell which exactly. Brent knocked it out of bounds. Texas State will get to run an out-of-bounds play, and hopefully they can clean things up on the offensive end. It's been really sloppy so far today.
I take you back to the early part of our conversation at the outset of our telecast. The biggest thing Coach Dial wanted from his basketball team today was to compete. And I would say nearly 15 minutes in, his team has done that. Nothing is coming easy for the Bobcats here so far.
It is not. They are really having to work on the offensive end to get good shots. You can tell they force some things because of the turnovers. Defensively, they're still trying to get their groove and to figure out what to do to offset these driving Saints.
By the way, that item you saw flying to the right of your screen was a shoe. Somebody is going on just one wheel right now.
Yeah, it's Addison Wallace. No, it isn't Addison. It's
Alonzo Sule.
I saw Addison Wallace throw the shoe. I assumed it was his shoe, but apparently it was Sule's shoe.
So 5 minutes and change left at a 22-18 lead here for Texas State. So I'll tell you what, Suzanne, let's take you back to 10 years ago. The last time these two teams met, and it was a wild game to say the least. Our Lady of the Lake won a stunner, 127-126 in overtime. Robert Martinez hit the game winner from half court at the buzzer for Our Lady of the Lake. But you look at the context behind that game. It was even crazier than that shot. Texas State head coach Doug Davalos was ejected with 9 minutes left after the Saints had built a 31-point lead at Strand Coliseum, as it was then known. And the Bobcats ended regulation on a 44-13 run. So after clawing all the way back just to lose in a half-court heave with a buzzer, devastating. And the Bobcats have not lost against a non-Division I opponent since then. 22 straight wins by an average margin of 37 points a game.
I was at that game, Brant. It was a crazy game. I mean, I think you gave all the details and the main things, but I know both of us were there. It was just, it's hard to put in words when you were there watching that game. The pace of it, again, that time it was an up and down game, and just for fans, it was a fun one to watch. If you were a Bobcat fan, there was probably a lot of disappointment.
Monzon misfires for what would have been his third made three of the half. Bobcats in transition. Davis inside. Scott attacks and got hacked by Monzon. And he will head to the free throw line, where Quinn Scott has been kind of Steve Nash so far this year. Scott, 93% from the line, ranks fourth in the Sun Belt.
Well, you know, Brant, if he misses it, you know you've done the dirty deed of giving him the jinx.
I never believed that stuff. But if a pitcher has a no-hitter going in the sixth, I'm going to say as much. And here's Scott. Naturally, yes, misses the front end.
He was at 90-something. He may have dropped just a couple percentage points there. But I do agree with you. Quentin Scott is a really good free throw shooter. He's been a consistent one for the Bobcats over his career here, tenure. And he'll come back right there with a good make for you, Brant.
The Bobcats as a team, fifth in the conference in free throw shooting today. Not great, even with that make from Scott. The Bobcats are 2 of 5 from the line. This for a team that was the best in the Sun Belt from the stripe a year ago. A steal by Harrell. And the finish with the left hand. Able to get that up and in over Darren Minifield.
Really nice move there, using his body to be able to get that ball off. Harrell did a great job finishing.
Monzon inside blocks. Sule the rejection. Good rim protection there for the junior out of Houston. In transition. Now Harrell in the half court. Throws it away. Easy steal for Ethan White. Bobcats commit their 9th first half turnover. Monzon over Scott, goes glass and scores 10 points in the first half for Ruben Monzon, the top returning scorer from a year ago, second team all-conference player for the Saints last year.
That was a really nice move he made over Quentin Scott. Again, sloppy play on the offensive end by Texas State. They've got to value the basketball. They've had a lot of turnovers that are unnecessary.
Scott again pops in a three. Again, that Steve Nash analogy earlier, that's his second made three. Steve Nash, though, hasn't played, I think, 7 years. Got to come up with somebody a little bit more recent.
Oh, I don't know, Brent. I'd have to help you.
Way off on the three, Patterson. In transition, Scott, closer distance and throws it down. And that will lead to a timeout for the Saints and a timeout for us as well, with the Bobcats on top by 10.
Ready for the Bobcats' next home game by getting your tickets online at txtbobcats.com today.
Bobcats using some defense turning it into some easy offense. Mason Harrell, the theft and the finish with the left hand. Not long after that, Quinn Scott off the turnover, a throwdown for the Bobcats. The senior out of Houma, Louisiana, having a good first half. Scott leads all Bobcat scorers with 9 points on an efficient 3 of 3 shooting.
Yeah, he's done a nice job the first half. And again, I mentioned about the interior guys playing more consistent. And if you look at the stat sheet, they filled it up. You look at Quentin Scott's 3 of 3, Suleigh's 3 of 3. Nate Martin came off the bench and hit his one shot. The only one who struggled a little bit of those inside forwards has been Isaiah Small. But, they should dominate in a game like this because they definitely have a mismatch.
The last shot we got was that of Chris Dial, again in his 3rd season at Our Lady of the Lake, but has some ties here to Texas State as Monzone drills another shot. Got his master's degree at Texas State back in 2015.
Yes, definitely some ties. I think one of the assistant coaches, Coach Carr.
Dustin Carr, yeah.
Yeah, undergrad here at Texas State. So they have an affinity for this university just like these Bobcats.
And that's an offensive foul, the charge against Minifield. And the 6th turnover for Our Lady of the Lake.
Yeah, and Minifield, he's one that's like a two-edged sword. He has got jet quickness, Brandon. He is super fast, really can change on a dime. But I think sometimes he may get his head down like you saw in that last play and not be able to avoid the defense.
Bobcats up to 46% shooting, the Saints at 32. Our Lady of the Lake has hit 3 threes. The Bobcats have made just 2 of theirs, but lead by 8. Outside, Small. Short on the 3. Scott the rebound slapped away. Good defensive play made by Ethan White. The Saints attack and an attempt there to step through for Xavier Woodington. Looked like he may have traveled, but a foul called first.
Yeah, that's one of those that, again, my old school words is a little cheesy foul. Marlon Davis was there, had his hands straight up, and there was some contact. But it was enough that the official thought that should deem a foul, and that's going to put Woodington on the line.
The games are great on TV, but they're even better in person. Get information and tickets to all upcoming Texas State athletic events at txst.com/tickets. And rest assured that all COVID precautions are in place to keep you safe including mask wearing, sanitizing, and social distancing so you can enjoy the game safely. Pressure here for the Saints leads to another Bobcat turnover. And another Texas State foul as well. The Bobcats now with 11 first-half turnovers. And the Saints getting ready to line up free throw attempts 6 and 7 here in the first half.
Yeah, and that's one of the things the Saints, again, they want to play up-tempo. So on offense, they're going to push the ball back at you, not let you get set up on defense. And then when they go to defense, they are going to full-court press. And again, they're picking Texas State up. They're getting their hands on some balls. And again, that's leading into some easy offense, drawing fouls, and getting some free throws. This is an Our Lady of the Lake team that can score the basketball. A year ago, averaged just south of 80 points a game. Once put up 138, albeit in double overtime, in a win over Texas Wesleyan. And you mentioned turnovers. In the one game they played this year that counted, Incarnate Word, they were +8 in turnover margin. Only committed 9 against the Cardinals that night. Big rebound there by Embry for the Saints. Texas State, again, is going to have to do a really good job in the half court. They've got to sit down and guard. That's the language that Coach TJ uses. Make them take a tough shot.
Floater there from White, left short. The senior out of San Antonio. So far today, White scoreless is the Saints' third leading scorer this season. But Our Lady of the Lake will keep it inbounding with a minute and change left and still hanging in there. It's only a 5-point game. Monzon, a big reason why, and scores again with a left hand. Got around Isaiah Small, a dozen in the first half now for Ruben Monzon.
Monzon is impressive, Brant. You know, he's very skilled with both hands. He's done a great job attacking the glass. He's definitely a matchup problem for Texas State at this point.
The miss from Davis, and all of a sudden, the Saints could potentially tie the game with a 3 here as we approach halftime. Instead, a floater and a 2-pointer for Xavier Woodington, and the lead is down to 1.
And again, they're staying with that full court pressure. They get a cheesy foul there from Woodington reaching in, and it's going to put Harrell on the line for Texas State.
A 9-0 run for the Saints over the past 2 minutes. The Bobcats have missed their last 4 shots. Now a chance to put points on the board with the clock stopped. And here's Mason Harrell, a 91% free throw shooter. So far, Harrell, kind of quiet game. 4 points, does have 4 assists, and missed the front end.
That's crazy, Brant. You know, you had him and Scott both go to the line, both 90+% free throw shooters, and both missed the front end. Just got to be devastating for the offensive flow for Texas State.
And the Saints have the lead. 11-0 run, laying there from Lennox Jones. He has 7. Final seconds here the first half. Harrell got trapped. Gets it off with a buzzer, but blocks by Woodington. And the Saints looking for an upset on top of the break, 31-30. The Bobcats have not lost to a non-Division I opponent in a decade. That loss 10 years ago to Our Lady of the Lake, and Texas State